Are you a Minecraft OG? Here are 28 facts that only the real OGs will know. Number 1. In the early days of Minecraft, food mechanics are very different from what we see today. There was no hunger bar, and eating food would instantly regenerate health rather than filling up your hunger. Mushrooms were the first food introduced, with brown mushrooms restoring 5 hit points and red mushrooms actually damaging the player by taking away 3 hit points. Food wasn't stackable, making inventory management even more challenging. Pigmen dropped raw pork chops, adding to the early food variety. Eating was also much quicker. Food would instantly disappear from your hand, without the eating animation used in modern versions. When end cities were first introduced in Minecraft, they were a major addition to the endgame content, offering players new challenges and rewards. Among these early versions of end cities, a curious detail was discovered. Some end ships contained a level 1 beacon with a speed effect. Bet you didn't know that. This beacon was a rare and powerful find, allowing players to enhance their movement speed within end cities. However, it was later revealed that this beacon was not intended to be a part of the final design. It had been placed there by the developers for testing purposes and was unfortunately removed in later snapshots. Despite the removal of the beacon, some remnants of this testing phase still remain in the game. For instance, the magenta stained glass used to change the color of the beacon still exists in end ships today. Minecraft's launcher used to be full of hidden Easter eggs. For example, hovering over the play button would reveal a random mob in the corner of the screen, or a creeper face might randomly appear in the top left corner. Sometimes, the creeper face would be replaced by a shrugging emoji. If you clicked these, they would turn solid white, and clicking them again would return them to their translucent state. Pressing Ctrl B would also play the experience orb pickup sound, adding to the launcher's charm. Only Minecraft veterans will know this, but we're just getting started. Number 4. Minecraft once had a 3D mode, which gave players a 3D experience using red cyan glasses to create a stereoscopic effect. This feature, offering a unique visual twist, was a part of Minecraft's experimental phase. However, as 3D glasses became less popular, the feature was removed in version 1.13, becoming a nostalgic piece of Minecraft's early days. Another memorable feature was the super secret settings, which added a quirky twist to the game. Activated through a button in the options menu, it would randomly distort sound and apply bizarre shaders, creating a chaotic and unpredictable gameplay experience. Although it was removed during an internal overhaul in versions 1.9, players still fondly recall the weird and wild effects that it introduced. When chiseled stone bricks were first introduced in Minecraft's Java Edition 1.2 update, they were an intriguing new block that added decorative options for builders. However, despite their addition, they remained unobtainable in survival mode for quite some time. It wasn't until the 12W22A snapshot that players finally gained access to the chiseled stone brick through the generation of jungle pyramids, where they were used as part of the structure. This meant that for a period of time, these bricks were something of a mystery to many players, visible only in creative mode or in generated structures, but not something you could easily obtain or craft on your own. One of the strangest bugs in Minecraft's early days involved monoliths. These were massive stone cliffs that stretched from the ground all the way up to the sky. The terrain under these monoliths was completely empty, as if the land had been inverted. Ore and water could sometimes be found on the side of these monoliths, but the massive, empty spaces below them were filled with water, making them feel even more otherworldly. Number 7. In the early days of Minecraft Pocket Edition, players had a 1 in 16 chance of getting beetroot seeds by simply using a hoe on the grass. There was no need to farm or search for seeds. Simply hoe the ground and beetroot seeds would randomly appear, giving players an easy farming boost. This quirky mechanic was eventually removed, but veteran players still remember the surprise and fun of getting seeds without any work. Meanwhile, regular golden apples used to be far more powerful, instantly restoring 20 hit points, the entire health bar. This made them the ultimate survival food, perfect for tough battles or boss fights. Over time, their power was reduced, but early players often relied on these golden treats to escape danger quickly. Trees in Minecraft have evolved significantly over time. Some, like the azalea tree, once had strange traits such as being able to spawn underwater, creating surreal underwater forests before this feature was removed. In early versions, we actually had pine and swamp trees. However, they lacked their own logs and leaves, instead borrowing from the spruce and oak trees. These trees couldn't be grown from saplings and only generated in new chunks. Over time, newer trees like the acacia and dark oak initially followed this trend but were later given their own unique wood types, while pine and swamp trees no longer exist in the game. End crystals, now crucial for respawning the Ender Dragon, have a unique history that only veterans will remember. For a brief 13-week period, players could resurrect the Ender Dragon by building a creeper face out of clay blocks in the end. This quirky method was part of the developers' experiments with the dragon's respawn mechanics. It was eventually replaced by the end crystal method that we know today. Before end crystals became craftable, they had a strange drop source: skeleton horses. These eerie creatures spawning only during thunderstorms were meant to drop end crystals when defeated. This added an extra challenge and mystery to obtaining these powerful items. Number 10. In the very early days of Minecraft Infdev, a strange and gigantic structure called a brick pyramid would sometimes appear. These pyramids were made entirely out of brick and had no rooms or interior, though caves sometimes could generate through them. The pyramids were intended as a way for developers to test structure generation in the game's infinite world mode. Because blocks didn't drop any items in early Infdev versions, players couldn't even collect the bricks from these pyramids. Villagers used to be called testificates. You could not trade with them, and they had the same AI as a Minecraft pig. Emeralds were initially planned to be rubies. However, the change was made because one of the developers, Debug, is red-green colorblind. Before the game's animations updated, Minecraft characters and mobs had a hilariously exaggerated walking animation, flailing their arms wildly like cartoon figures. This gave early Minecraft versions a quirky, almost comedic look, with characters moving in a choppy, exaggerated manner. In multiplayer, there was also a comical touch to death scenes. When a player died, their character would bizarrely remain standing and even do a little leap before disappearing. Alpha version 1.0.4 introduced the Winter mode, Minecraft's very first biome. In this mode, snow fell constantly, covering all exposed solid blocks and creating a winter wonderland with 4 types of snowflakes. Most water froze into ice, except near gravel beaches, and reeds became rare due to the frozen water and reduced passive mobs. With 25% chance of activation when creating a world, Winter mode offered a unique Minecraft experience before being removed in Alpha version 1.2 when biomes were fully implemented. I told you these facts only get harder as the video goes on, so wait until the end and I promise you will be surprised. Number 15. In survival test version of Minecraft, creepers were even more dangerous. They exploded and dealt melee damage up close. This melee attack was only removed in Infdev 0.31, leaving creepers with their iconic explosion, which still defines them today. Meanwhile, mobs like pigs, sheep, skeletons had blockier simple walking animations. In versions 1.14.2 of Minecraft, a glitch allowed players to stack multiple protection enchantments onto a single piece of armor. This meant you could combine fire, projectile, blast protection, and normal protection for all onto the same piece of armor, creating an almost invincible defense. Players who discovered this bug could shrug off most types of damage, making them nearly unstoppable. Number 18. Water used to evaporate when it came into contact with magma blocks. You couldn't clutch within a 1x1 water source. The water needed to be deeper, or you would die. Additionally, there was a 66% chance of water simply just evaporating. If you're a veteran, you might remember mobs running away from creepers about to explode. This caused the game to lag like crazy, as every single mob would check for an exploding creeper every single game tick. In Beta 1.9 pre-release 3, giant glass pillars could be found in the world. These pillars stretched all the way up to build limit and marked the location of strongholds. The glass pillars were removed in the next pre-release once the Eyes of Ender were able to locate strongholds. Additionally, fire used to spread insanely fast. Once it got out of hand, it would destroy entire forests. When fire was introduced, it was assigned the wood material, so walking on fire made the same sound as walking on planks. Number 24. In early Infdev versions, players could press F5 to instantly toggle between rain and clear weather. F4 allowed players to spawn nether portals, offering a quick way to access the nether. Another crazy feature was the ability to take screenshots of your entire world just by pressing the F7 button. Additionally, in Beta 1.8 pre-release, Debug code lets players control time with F6 and F7, allowing them to fast forward or rewind time in their worlds. Number 28. In the early days of Minecraft, some blocks had very different characteristics than they do now. For instance, before beta 1.6, wooden slabs were treated like stone in the game's mechanic. They had the stone entity, meaning that it could only be broken with a pickaxe. This strange quirk made wooden slabs more durable, but also a bit more confusing for players. Additionally, wooden stairs didn't burn back then, making them fireproof, unlike the wood blocks we're familiar with today. These early versions of wooden blocks created some interesting and unintended gameplay strategies, such as using wooden stairs as fireproof build material.